Hello everyone. In this video, we'll walk through how to allow DNS resolution for Tailnet IPs in OPNSense so devices behind it can access services running inside your Tailscale network. So for this video, the use case is you've got a reverse web proxy sitting inside your Tailnet. Let's say it's a domain called as ts.hdvml-lab.com, which resolves to an IP like 100.91.31.105. Your external DNS, like Cloudflare, is already pointing to it, but clients on your LAN, which are routed through OPNSense, can't reach it. The reason being because OPNSense DNS basically blocks DNS responses that return private or CGNAT, which is also called as carrier grade NAT IPs like 100.64.00 and the range. That range is basically reserved for private IPs, for CGNATs, for ISPs, basically using WAN connections. So that's the reason by default OPNSense blocks any private IPs, which also includes Tailnet IPs. So let's go ahead and look at the solution for it. So let's start by showing you that the IP for your Tailscale host is basically unreachable. This client, what you see over here, Raspberry Web Slave, is basically sitting behind the OPNSense router. So if you try and query the host ts.hdvml, query that. So I'm querying that domain name, and then with that DNS server 10.2.101.254, now it shouldn't give you the value. The reason being because OPNSense is blocking that. So let's go ahead into the OPNSense web UI. Once you're in, go on to services, and then go on to unbound DNS, and then go into advanced. So over here, by default, if you see, this is the section where it basically blocks all these IPs from DNS resolution, which includes 100.64 series subnet, which is basically blocking your Tailscale IP as well. Because Tailscale, if you have used Tailscale, the Tailscale network is basically gives you all 100 IPs, which are private, which cannot be accessed externally unless you're on the Tailscale network, which is also called as Tailnet. So over here, we are trying to resolve a domain. So first thing that we can do is we can just simply select this and then just remove that subnet altogether, and then you can access your host, but we don't want to do that. Specifically, just put in the domain name, and that will take care of you being able to access that particular domain name and then resolve it. So for us, it's ts.hdvml-lab.com. Just press enter. So this would cover this domain name and any subdomains that comes before that. So for my exercise for this video, it's ukrt.ts.hdvml-lab.com. If you click on this icon over here, the I, it gives you more detail around what it does. So now we have put that in. Just go and do an apply, and then do a DNS resolution. Now it should work perfectly, and it should give you the IP 100.900 something, I think. So let's see. Okay, 100.91.134.105. So now it's returning the IP, although it's a private IP, because you have whitelisted that domain. So any resolution to that domain it works. I've got a CNAME for another subdomain. So let's try that, and that should resolve as well, which it does. So it says it's an alias, and then the IP address is that. So this basically proves that any tailscale IPs which are there, and you need to be in the Tailnet network when you're doing this exercise, that you can resolve the IPs if you're sitting behind an OPNSense network and you want to resolve the tailscale network. Because it's private IPs, it doesn't work, but now it works, as you see. So if you found this video helpful, like and subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon for future video updates. Bye for now.